When police entered the small farmhouse outside Willow Creek, they expected a burglary gone wrong. Instead, they found something so disturbing that one veteran detective walked straight back out, tears in his eyes. This wasn't just a murder. This was personal. And for years, no one in town knew who was responsible until a single overlooked detail cracked the case wide open. Willow Creek, Illinois. Population, just under 3,000. The kind of town where everyone knew everyone, where the grocery store doubled as a local gossip hub, and where nothing truly bad was supposed to happen. The victims were the Collins family, Mark, 42, a mechanic known for fixing cars for free when people were strapped for cash, and his wife, Sarah, 39, a school teacher described as the heart of the elementary. They had 2 children, Emily, 13, and Noah, just 9. They weren't wealthy. They weren't controversial. By all accounts, they were the perfect small-town family, which is why their brutal end shocked the entire community. On the evening of October 14th, 2008, Sarah Collins never showed up to her PDA meeting. Calls went unanswered. A neighbor noticed the lights were off and usually early, and called police for a welfare check. What officers discovered was chilling. Mark was found in the garage, slumped over his workbench, struck from behind with a blunt object. Sarah was in the bedroom, strangled with what appeared to be one of her own scarves. The children, both smothered in their beds. Nothing was stolen, no forced entry. The TV was still playing. It wasn't a robbery. This was something else. Detectives later admitted. It looked like the killer wanted to erase the family, quietly, methodically. The Collins home became a crime scene swarming with investigators. They worked through the night, piecing together what little evidence they could find. A single muddy boot print by the back door, an unlatched kitchen window, suggesting entry, and in Sarah's diary, the first hint of a storm brewing under the surface of their perfect life. The diary spoke of arguments between Mark and his boss, tensions at work, and cryptically a man Sarah said was watching from the shadows. Mark's employer, Tom Greeley, had recently been in heated disputes with him over missing money from the garage. But Tom had a rock-solid alibi. He was at a poker game with 6 witnesses. One neighbor claimed he saw a figure in dark clothes around the house a week before. But surveillance from the gas station down the road showed nothing unusual. Sarah's diary mentioned someone who never spoke, only stared. Detectives canvassed the area, but couldn't connect it to anyone real. Or so they thought. For weeks, the case went cold. Then came the boot print. A state lab identified it as a rare brand, a model sold at only 2 stores in the county. Detectives quietly pulled receipts, and one name jumped out, Daniel Mercer. Daniel was a 27-year-old drifter who'd lived in Willow Creek on and off. He had priors for stalking and trespassing. And here's the chilling part. Sarah Collins once filed a complaint against him for lurking near the school playground, but nothing ever came of it. Detectives began reconstructing Daniel's life. A loner, unemployed, obsessed with Sarah. Old friends said he'd often talk about perfect families and how he'd never have one. He lived with his mother, unemployed, invisible in the community. The diary entries now made sense. Sarah had felt watched because she was watched, but when questioned, Daniel remained calm. He admitted to owning the boots, but said he hadn't been near the Collins house in months. He smiled when detectives pressed him, and then he said something that made everyone in the room uneasy. Families like that don't deserve to be happy when people like me have nothing. Still, without DNA or direct evidence, prosecutors hesitated. The case risked falling apart in court. Months passed. The town grew restless. Rumors spread that the killer might never be caught. During a re-examination of the crime scene photos, a junior detective noticed something subtle. In Sarah's bedroom, the scarf used to strangle her wasn't tied in a standard knot. It was an unusual, tight sailor's hitch knot. Only one person in Willow Creek was known for using that knot regularly, Daniel Mercer. He'd worked briefly as a dockhand 2 years prior. Armed with this, detectives obtained a warrant. In Daniel's room, hidden under floorboards, they found a small wooden box. Inside, a collection of newspaper clippings about the Collins family and a photo of Sarah, taken without her knowledge, weeks before the murders. That was the nail in the coffin. Daniel Mercer was arrested and charged with 4 counts of first-degree murder. In court, he barely reacted as the evidence was laid out. The boot print, the diary entries, the stalking history, and not only he could have tied, the jury deliberated for just 6 hours, guilty on all counts. At sentencing, Sarah's sister spoke through tears. You wanted to erase them, but their love will outlive your hate. Daniel was given life without parole. For Willow Creek, the Collins murders changed everything. Doors that had never been locked were now bolted shut. Parents watched their children more closely. And detectives? One said, "You train yourself to keep it together, but seeing those kids, that stays with you forever." In the end, justice was served. The Collins family didn't die because of greed or revenge. They died because one man's emptiness turned into hatred. And it reminds us all that sometimes evil doesn't come with a mask. Sometimes it looks like the quiet man who lives right down the road. If you found this story as powerful as I did, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more true crime cases where the truth finally finds its voice.